Hi friends, my name is Catherine Kalu and welcome to Soul Chats.
Even the spiders take their time, winding their webs with delicate threads, and we can sit and watch as the moon rises and an army of clouds climb over the mountains as peaceful as a fallen tree, and as wild as a sycamore seed.
Hello friends and welcome to episode 5 of Soul Chats. I truly cannot believe we're already at the 5th episode and I've gotten the absolute pleasure of experiencing Soul Chats for over a month now. Thank you so much to literally every single one of you for making the first month of this podcast so fulfilling for me. I truly appreciate every single one of you so much. For episode 5, I had the absolute pleasure of chatting with one of my close friends, Christina Yannello, aka barefacedfemme. This girl is seriously a lady boss, so please check out her amazing platform on Instagram. As always, links can be found on my website, soulchatsbycatherine.com, to follow an inspiring skincare and beauty influencer. With that, I hope you enjoy us talking about patience and spirituality during today's episode. Please enjoy.
Is this thing on?
Hello, testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm so much better now since we've been chatting. Truly, you've uplifted
I know we got a good
me.
little catch up. I haven't talked to you in too long. Whenever we talk, it's always just tell me everything because it's been
oh yeah,
too long.
it's word vomit every time we talk.
Vomit. That's
in
such
the
a good
best
way.
way. In the best way.
I miss you. It's so good seeing your face.
You so much. So nice to hear your voice. It's so soothing.
You're so sweet.
It really
is.
Thank
you. I appreciate it. Well, first off, thank you for being on the podcast. I've really been looking forward to having you on here since I just love and adore you so much.
Oh, it's truly such a pleasure. I have been looking forward to this for so long because this is just us going to talk normally. So It's like people are just going to know our relationship and friendship better, which is so special because you're such a special person.
You're so sweet to me. Thank you. I feel the exact same way about you.
Oh, stop.
So I'll just get into it. My favorite question to ask, especially you. I love asking you this because you're my crazy Cancer who just you tell me how your soul is doing, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you for not just saying good. So Christina, how is your soul doing?
My soul is, as of today, she's recovering, she's healing, and she's getting stronger. She's learning every day, and she's not taking anything for granted, but she is trying to be better. She's trying to manifest and go after things in life for once and not have anything or anyone hold her back from it. So as of now, that's my soul. But also at the same time, I'm very conscious of trying to take care of myself and be better at my own personal self-care and wellness and my own well-being while not trying to, compensate it for, say, work opportunities or professional opportunities, because you can't be successful or you can't go after the things you want in life and succeed at them if you are not well. So that's kind of where my 100%. Soul is at today.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I'm so proud of you. You are always just so reflective and thoughtful, and I just so admire and appreciate that about you.
I think the same of you. It's a mirror. It's truly a mirror.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
It's true.
So I want to tell people how we met in our story.
Oh my God. I love taking a trip down memory lane. I love it.
Take a trip. So again, Christina, you're another person who I went to school with. We both went to Chapman
Yes.
together.
Hashtag class of 2020.
Hashtag class of COVID. Woohoo!
Woo!
And then I think the first class we had together, Dr. Deb, right?
It's Dr. Deb's entrepreneurship class.
Intro to entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I think we had like a mutual friend. We were both just like, hey.
Emma. Yeah.
Emma, that's right.
It was Emma.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Hi, Emma.
Hey, Emma. We're thinking of you.
That's so sweet. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, like really sweet girl, like cool. And then the next semester, I think it was Intro to Business with
it was Warner.
Oh,
and miss him.
We sat next to each other and just like I know I miss him. I hope he's doing well.
I miss him so much. We were his gems in his class. I loved him. I thoroughly enjoyed Intro to Business so much.
No, I actually learned stuff. Yeah, because we were both entrepreneurship minors in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were both.
Yeah,
both of us. So long ago.
No, so crazy.
And then we just became friends through that class, and then we just tried to like keep taking classes together.
Yeah,
and
you were my entrepreneurship minor buddy.
Yeah, which I so appreciated because you always like made it fun. I was like, okay, like Christina's in the class, like it's gonna be a good class, like just a fun
man, you're
time.
Too sweet. But I'm so grateful for Dr. Deb's class because we didn't even talk that much because I was running my own group. You were in another group. You were in the Kindle group. So for people who don't understand,
good memory.
Yeah, no. So Catherine and I were in this class where like it's like how many students? There was like 50 students?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like it's a big lecture class and like 10 students' ideas get chosen and then you have to create a business plan. So I presented my business plan. It was like a clean beauty subscription box.
Voila.
And voila. It was called Voila.
It was so good.
It was cute, but it was so stressful. So I remember every time showing up to that class, I'd be stressed out of my mind, like writing a business plan, managing 10 people. At this time, I'm also a sophomore. And I always wanted to talk to you and Emma, but I was always so busy with my group, like doing the work, getting it all together. Meanwhile, just like trying to like manage and come up with ideas, and me being the like type A student it was a lot, but I always was so attracted to talking to you guys. And then we had accounting.
Oh my, I totally we had 2 classes together that semester.
And that's
oh my gosh.
So it was Warner and accounting, I think, in that semester. Was it?
Yes.
Or was Dr. Deb in accounting?
So long ago, I don't remember it, honestly.
You know, I think, now since we've graduated, I'm like, what college did I go to?
Literally. I was like, we were entrepreneurs, right? Like, that's what we did. And you're like, yeah. I was like, okay. I should put that on my resume.
I honestly should too. Like, brief intro to accounting, somewhat knowledgeable. Remembers nothing. I can't tell you one thing. Oh, Jesus, no. I actually have PTSD.
Oh gosh.
Memory lane.
Such a fun time.
So fun.
Yeah, our friendship got cut short because this is a good leeway because I would love if you could tell people kind of who you are and your story and kind of what you're up to.
Okay. So hi everyone. My name's Christina. I'm born and raised in New York, but I decided to transfer to school in California after 1 semester as a finance major in Boston.
I forget about that.
I know. It's so funny to think that I was can I curse? A business bitch?
Sure.
I was like that type A human being. And then California really did a beautiful number on my emotional, mental, physical health, my whole being. I'm so happy I was able to go out there. I transferred to be a public relations advertising major, still keeping the business vibe as a minor in entrepreneurship. And as of today, I am a content creator. My name is barefacedfemme.
Yeah.
And I started my skin blog just as a way to have a creative outlet for all things beauty. I've realized that beauty was always my real passion, and it was a hobby, and it was really fun to just have a place. It was like a mood board. I would save images and makeup looks I really loved. I would repost women who inspired me, like Meryl Streep and Cher, if you go like way deep now on my feed.
I love that.
And I kind of just continued posting there. And then all of a sudden, in like August 2018, my skin started breaking out really bad again, because I was someone who had my first breakout when I was 12. And then it just consistently, I always dealt with acne. And then it got really bad my like 7th and 8th grade. And then I somewhat managed it from like 9th to 11th grade. And then I decided to go on birth control my senior year. And because I was going to college too. So
Right.
somehow like being on birth control helped calm down my skin. And I was on, people always ask me, Menastrin 24FE. That's what helped my
Ooh.
skin. Yeah. And then August 2018, my skin just started getting really bad again. And I knew something was up. I was going through a lot emotionally at the time too. So I don't just blame my physical health. I think for me, my skin health is so reliant upon my emotional health too, which then coincides with my mental health. And then it led me to take a copper IUD inserted, and I stopped taking birth control. And that's really when I experienced my worst skin. My worst skin was with the copper IUD. And then I just shared it online. I was sharing that my skin was breaking out, sharing just like real skin, which I know not a lot of people do, but I was inspired by the many trailblazers and like skin pioneers that have come before me and their bravery to be able to share my own. And fast forward April 1st, 2019, I took my first dose of Accutane. And I've had a 8-month journey on Accutane. And here I am today, now 7 months later. And my skin is, I think it's looking okay.
It looks
I just
beautiful.
Thank you. It's been a long journey, but I'm really grateful that I was able to put it online and have something to reflect on, because I think it's so important to have things that you can look back and be like, that's where I was at that point in time, because life is so fleeting. So it's so nice to come back and have a place to just look and reflect.
Yeah.
And I selfishly did it for myself. I didn't put it out there for anyone else. I wanted a place that I could look back to and be like, oh, okay, September 26th, 2019, or, you know, it was like February 15th, 29, like, you know, I have a place that I can look and be like, that's where my skin was. And here I am today. I think it's so nice to have a timeline and a journey to look back on. And for me, that's what kind of got me to where I am today, which is crazy. My acne.
You did that.
I know, but it's crazy because I always say you have to grow through what you go through. And my acne journey has made me the reflective, self-aware human I am today. You know, I'm just really grateful for it.
Love that.
It's crazy to say that because it depressed me. I was like severely depressed while I was struggling with my acne. And it's hard to even recognize that you are depressed. And it was unfortunate that I didn't take care of myself enough when I was going through my deeper mental health issues. So, you know, I'm really proud to say that I came out of it alive. I came out of it a better human being, and I'm really grateful for it, because I'm, you know, where I am today in my life, and I'm really happy to be here. You know, I don't hate myself, you know, I'm really happy. And, you know, I'm still, you know, working on some things, but I just feel super fortunate to have the opportunities that I do have, like talking to you on your podcast and, you know, kind of sharing what I've gone through, because it's normal to have acne. It's normal to have skin issues. It's normal to not have a perfect complexion. It's normal to have belly fat, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just really, really fortunate to be able to have a community of people and, you know, like friends online that I'm posting it now and people want to hear me. It's no longer me just posting to my mood board. So I'm really fortunate and I'm so grateful for that.
That's like part of the reason you inspire me so much is because I think a lot of people would take, because like, you're being really vulnerable. You're saying like, I had this acne, this really negatively affected my view in myself, my self-esteem. Like it gave me, feelings of depression and stuff. That's not like a light thing. And I think a lot of people, especially like with social media, would hide that and, like put it away and not even, try to like not allow the world to see that. And instead you completely did the opposite, and you shared and you were vulnerable and you were just so willing and being like, yeah, hey, like I hate my face today. Like, how are you doing? Like, what's
Yeah.
up? And you turned it into like, okay, this is me trying this is me trying that. Like, this is working for me. This is not. And people, a lot of people struggle with acne and self-esteem in general. And what I love so much about Barefaced Femme is like, it's not just product, like great too. Like I love your product advice and stuff, but you take it to such like, it comes from like such a pure, like, I don't know what the word is, like passion. Like it's just you wanting people to feel their best and you wanting to feel your best through vulnerability. So like I just love and admire you so much in that sense, which is really why I wanted to talk with you today.
Oh my God, I'm beaming. Thank you. You're so sweet. It feels, it's so like it's indescribable. Thank you.
You're so sweet. So when we were coming up with kind of what we wanted to talk about today, it was the last time we like kind of caught up and we were chatting and stuff, and we kind of I think one thing that's really relevant in both of our lives, I know you especially right now, is kind of just patience with yourself. Physically, emotionally, mentally, all the well-being stuff. I know you're hugely passionate about well-being, as am I. So I would just love for you to kind of just like, why do you want to talk about that? Like, what makes you so passionate about that today or ever?
Yeah, we are, I think, as a person who's living in the 21st century, we get things immediately. We carry around a device that we can get things instantly on, but you can't rush your own process. You cannot rush your own way of growing. As easy as it would be to rush into, becoming whoever you need to be, you need to go through all the steps in order to figure out what makes you happy. You need to fail thousands of times. You need to be knocked down to your core and can't get up, because when you're in those low moments, that's how you grow. That's how you put on your armor and you get fighting. And I think that in order to be knocked down and get up successfully, you have to take your time with it. And patience is key with yourself, with your journey, whatever your journey may be. Take it, for example, skin. Skin is so different for you and for me, and for my neighbor next door, right?
Right.
So it is so hard to even recommend a product and be like, this worked for me in like 10 months, right? Like for Accutane, for instance, because that took patience. It took time, and time is your most valuable currency. And that's why we're just so stingy with it too. And it sometimes takes longer than expected for certain things, but you have to remember that the outcome will be so much more valuable once you have taken your time with it, and then it's more fulfilling. And I mean, it's tough when you need to go through a mental journey and have patience, because time goes by so slow sometimes. It goes by so slow. And what are you left to do when you're sad and time is going by like tick, 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 tick? But it's in those moments that you can really get to know yourself better and really just truly figure out what makes you tick, what makes you feel the most fulfilled, what brings meaning and value into your life. And that's not going to come quickly. It's going to take time. So I think that patience is so important, not just for your own physical health, because, results take time and it's different for every person. We're all so different. We're all so unique. But also it applies to your mental and emotional health too. Even if I were
100%.
to start therapy today, I should not be thinking I'm going to walk out of it this evening being completely A-okay.
Totally.
It could take a month. It could take a year. It could take 30 years, So it really is so important to be patient with yourself, because it's something I think we just overlook way too often, myself included.
You worded it so beautifully and so eloquently. I 100% agree. I think you made a really good point in connecting it kind of with like our technology and stuff. Like, I think especially the younger generations, like you and I are both like the beginning of Gen Z, like we're just so used to instant gratification.
Yeah.
And I think that really translates into not just, phone and communication stuff, but it translates into like every aspect of our lives. And it's like, well, that's just simply not how it's going to work out.
Exactly.
But I think it's hard. Like, I don't know, like how have you kind of like, do you think you're good at like practicing patience, or do you find yourself like really struggling with it, or like, does it depend on the situation?
I'm terrible at it. Terrible. I'm cognizant of it, of course, but I'm someone who I'm working on that right now. And I think it's so important to remember to, I think I've kind of mastered more of being patient with my skin, because I really went through that. So now I'm kind of going through now the emotional consequences of kind of a lot of things that I've gone through personally for like the past 4 years of my life, because I am this persona. Yeah, like I am this persona online, and like I breathe and live positivity, but it's because I've had a lot of dark moments too. Right. So that's why I am who I am today, and that's how I grew. It's because I've dealt with a lot. And that's why I truly believe in being so gentle to yourself. And that's why it's so important to be your most authentic self, because there's a lot of fake people out there, unfortunately. And I've come to realize that people are always trying to swindle you for something. But the easiest thing that we can do is be kind to ourselves. And once you're kind to yourself, you're patient with yourself too. Give yourself a break. Like, please be gentle, and like, don't beat yourself up all the time, because that's just going to, bottle you down. And every person deserves to be uplifted. And in order for us to uplift others, you need to uplift yourself first.
Oh, snaps hard to that. 100%. Like I one of my favorite quotes that I've heard from a friend like years ago was like, in order to fill other people's cups, like you need to have yours filled first.
Yeah.
And I think in order to like serve and love and help others, like you need to serve and love and help yourself first. And I think patience and I like endurance, like I really think it like ties into this idea of endurance. And like, I know for me personally, like I am very much like a goal-oriented person. So like school, I loved school because I was like, great, tests, a final, next semester, like like it just is like this whole thing for me. And I know exactly like the timeline of what's going to happen. Like, great.
I'm the same way. I love school. I love school.
It's all set up for us, like, exactly what the plan is, and like you're studying and you're, whether you're going to get an A or an F, like you're going to take this test on Wednesday. Whereas like, like I'm someone who struggles with some like mental health stuff. Like I'm like, okay, like I'm working towards this, but I'm like, when's the freaking test? Like, when is this going to be over with? Like, I'm so tired. I'm so burnt out. And like, I'm just impatient because I'm like, I don't know when the end in sight kind of is.
Of course. I think you and I are so similar in the fact that we love structure. We need a system. Yeah. I love structure, and I love being a student was easy for me because I could easily adhere to the rules. And it was easy for me to be like, oh, there's a test on Friday. I'm going to start studying today. I'll be fine, whatever. I mean, accounting was harder, of course. Like accounting really threw me for a loop. That was a big challenge, but we were able to get through it because we understood the timeline. And in life, there is no timeline. You're born and you die. And there's so much that comes in between. Love, heartbreak, failures, success, pandemics, dogs, friends, shopping, skincare, all of it. Everything comes in between. There's no proper structure to that. So it's up to us. It's up to you and me to be there for ourselves in order to get through every curveball life brings you. And if you're not patient with yourself, then how are you going to make it out alive? If you're not kind enough to yourself to recognize that was a lot, let me take the day off. Like, let me cancel my dinner plans. That's okay. If they're really your friend, they'll understand.
Totally.
Like, let me just take this weekend and reorganize. Like, let me take a minute and just clear out my email inbox. Let me turn off my phone. I think that's really important. Like, the world will still be there when you're ready to plug in again. But it's really important when you take that time for yourself to plug out. And that involves lots of patience. And that's something I've had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. But I'm really, really grateful I learned it now at 22 rather than at 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough.
I think a lot of people go through life, myself included. This is where I'm definitely trying to practice patience, but distracting myself and just keeping myself busy and doing this and that and not practicing this kind of form of self-love and self-care of by being patient to myself, by giving myself the time I need to heal, to learn, to grow. And just, I also think comparison plays a huge part in that too. I look at, people online or, other just
so
people in my
easy to
network
compare
and stuff.
ourselves.
Which are, they're on completely different paths, maybe older than me, maybe have had more opportunities than I have, different, there's just so many variables to that. But then I'm like, oh, I'm not there. I need to grind and get there instead of just being no, be patient. And it happens when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I as someone who also lives a life online, it's so easy to compare ourselves. And I'm thinking to myself sometimes, but I have more followers than that person. Why wasn't I able to get that opportunity? Or, I'm doing X, Y, and Z and more. Why aren't I getting these results? And we're only human, and that's how we are. We compare ourselves because we're all of the same species. We are the people that occupy this planet. We are here on this earth. So of course we're going to have some issues along the way with people, with, things that arise, whatever it may be. But you have to come back down to that you are trying the best you can. At the end of the day, we're only human. We're only human. We should
100%.
not be expecting things in an instant. And if it is in an instant, you should really be thinking about and questioning the quality of whatever you're getting. Because in life, you will fall down again and again, but it really matters how you get up. And you don't have to get up in 5 seconds. You can take the time to get up for yourself and come back stronger. It's like breaking a bone. When you break a bone, it builds back stronger. Of course, it takes a lot of time, but once it's healed, then you can go out and do the things you were always doing, but you're doing it stronger than you were before. So I think it's so important to keep that in mind. But yet again, when you're in that building phase, there's no right way to do it. There's no, perfect way to do it either. It's so personal, and you have to figure that out for yourself. And getting started is the hardest part, and I can't even tell you where to begin, but you just need to have the will and the courage to know that you may fail, but it really will be fine, because you are you have to remember that you're a strong human being no matter who you are. You've been put on this planet for a reason. And for me at least, I'm very spiritual. I know that my energy and my my spirits around me and my guardian angels will be there to pick me up if I am really in a dark, low place. So for me, that's my reassurance. Everyone always needs some type of reassurance. I think I'm spiritual like that, and I always look to the universe and our energies as a sign. Sometimes I'll even try and manifest, like, I'm really questioning something, I'd love to get a sign. I'd love to see a sign. And, sometimes you get your signs, and it really matters how you try and define them. It could be different for everyone, but I think that's really important to know that there is reassurance out there if you do seek it.
Do you think everything happens for a reason, or do you think we have, for lack of a better word, kind of like free will, or is it a mix of both?
I think in life that there's infinite outcomes, but everything happens for a reason if you choose it, if you pursue it. But yes, like, I do think everything does happen for a reason because you chose it. There is free will, but I mean, it's a super complicated question, but I think that there's always infinite outcomes and there's infinite ways to do the same thing, but it depends on the steps you want to get there, and that's your own free will. I think that sometimes there will always be an answer in sight, but the ways to get to the answer can always be different. It really depends. It's up to you. I think everyone's destiny is in their own hands. But of course, there's some people who are like, destined to be certain people or whatever it may be. Because I am deeply spiritual like that. And I do think that, we're put on the earth for a reason. But there is no wrong way to get to where you need to be. There's never a wrong way. Of course, you might fail, but it wasn't wrong. It could have taken you 10 years longer to get to where you need to be, but that's the road you tried. That's the journey you chose. And hopefully within that time frame, you learned something. Hopefully you failed too, because then you could grow from that. But then, hey, you finally got to your end point. What are you going to do with that then? Then that's up to your free will. That's up to you. And some people, you may think, there is this clear path ahead of me and I will get there, like becoming a doctor or a lawyer, right? I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to take my LSAT. I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to take the bar. I'm going to be a lawyer, right? You can still be a lawyer or a doctor, whatever it may be, but you could do things out of order sometimes too. I mean, maybe not for a doctor. I don't really know what I'm talking about now, but I do think that there's sometimes in life where you think that certain things are the way they're supposed to be, but then once you get in touch with yourself a little bit more, then you'll realize the true answer. And that's something I've experienced. So, I think it comes again with time and being patient with yourself, and then that's how you'll figure it all out. And we're so young too. I mean, it's tough to even say that, like, I'm meant to be this person or whatever. But I do think where I am today in my life, I have gone through a lot to get here, and I'm just playing the cards I'm dealt. I'm trying to play the cards I'm dealt the best I can. And it's not easy, but you have to have a little bit of faith. And that's what will always get you through. With patience, it comes with faith. And faith being not religious or spiritual, but just believe in good, believe in the light, and then that will come forth for you. I really believe in just creating positivity all around you, because then it will follow you. You attract the energy you are. So I really believe in that.
I do too. I appreciate you saying that. I really became more of a spiritual person like late high school and college and stuff, and I really lost that. Like at a certain time in college, that was like really hard for me. I just kind of was like, no, like there's, like I just kind of lost that like spirituality and faith in whatever you want to call it, like religion, the universe, like I also call it the universe and energy and all that. Like that just makes me happy and stuff. So I appreciate you kind of like reminding me and believing in it so much, because I think it's just another one of those things where we get so distracted or at least I do. I get really distracted by the here and now and with the ego and with the world, at large, and just I like in it's not even practicing patience or impatience. It's just not even looking at it sometimes, I think, is the hard part. And like you said, like acknowledging it and recognizing that you need to kind of work and practice on whatever that is for, you. I think everyone's on a different journey and different path. And I think in different times in life, it's going to be patience for, there's physical, mental, emotional, there's all these things, and they're all having their own, whatever. But I really connect with that, and I really appreciate that. I think that's really beautiful. Is there kind of like a major time in life, or like even lately, where you are like, I don't think practicing is the right here, but like kind of practicing impatience here. You're like, I'm not doing it right. Like
Oh my God, all the time. So for me, at least, I find myself to be the most impatient. Like, I'm a New Yorker, I'm a New Yorker. I can't even wait 3 minutes for a subway to come by. I'm like, are you kidding me? I could have taken the C, and I took the 1. I didn't have to do this to myself. I'm one of those people for sure. I'm like that in love. I'm like that with myself. But I'm constantly trying to remind myself. I'm always trying to remind myself that this is where I'm supposed to be right now, and I need to take care of myself. I need to be more gentler with myself, because who is going to be there for you when you're down? Sure, you can have an amazing support group, but you have to be there for yourself. You can't rely on those other people. You have to rely on yourself. And for me, at least, I'm trying to strengthen my own relationship with self. I'm a very independent person. I can function at my peak on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But functioning is so different than taking care of yourself. Care is how we survive. Functioning is easy. Yeah, I can eat, I can sleep, I can work, no problem. But what are you doing in between? How are you taking care of yourself? And I started my I think my love of care through skincare at a young age. I remember for me, I was like in the 3rd grade, and I bought my first Clinique set at the Nordstrom counter. And I was so excited, because that was the first time I was using like fancy skincare. It wasn't just Neutrogena from CVS, and I remember that's what would get me up in the morning before school. I'd be so excited to wash my face and like use the pink toner and like use the yellow moisturizer. I was so excited about that. And I think care for people is just, it's so different. It's different for you. It's different for me, but skincare makes me feel good. So I always make time for that. But yet again, I also have to remember that I need to take care of myself mentally. And when I take care of myself mentally, that includes all the patience that I can possibly, afford to give myself at the time. I mean, it's really hard to just say like, hey, Christina, calm down. You're not gonna, for instance, like you're not going to find a boyfriend after being a month on Hinge. You need to be patient. You got to chill. And at the same time, it's like, I know myself enough at this point that that's not what I need right now. What I need right now is taking care of myself and putting forth out into the world love and care for myself, because that is what you'll receive back too. And also just being a good person, I think, goes a long way. Being nice, like smiling even while wearing a mask. I can tell if someone's smiling under their mask. I know.
I love that. One thing that you have said to me before, which I like so love, you're like, I always remind myself like a month, a year, like a week from now, I'll be in a better place.
Oh my God, that's my thing.
Which I absolutely love. Like I'm a person who kind of struggles with anxiety sometimes. And when I kind of get into my anxious kind of moments in life, I automatically am like, this is forever. Like, this is how I'm going to feel forever, and I like think of like 5 years in advance, and I just, because that's kind of where my anxiety stems from, is just overthinking the future and stuff. And it was happening last night. Like I was literally in bed and I was like overthinking everything and just doing all that stuff. And I was like, this is gonna be my life. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm almost 22, like da da da. And then I remembered what you said, and you're like, no, a month from now, you'll be in a better place. And I love that because one, that's just true. Like I've always kind of like, this too shall pass, like whether that's good or bad, like I've always believed in that. But I also like love that because it's also like a way of manifesting it too, I think.
Yeah.
It's just so fun.
I love that you are reframing. I think that's so important because I am someone who would say that in my head to myself when I was on Accutane or when I was having really bad skin. I was like, a month from now, like my body's going to metabolize this and the pills will work. Or in 2 months from now, like hopefully I'll be dealing with just my acne scars. And as I came off of Accutane, I was like, okay, 3 months from now, I'm going to be in a better place with myself and my skin. And now, like I went through a lot, like as everyone did, being in lockdown. I would say to myself, okay, 6 months from now, everything will be good. Or by the time it's August, I'm going to be in a more secure place with my well-being. And, it takes time, but it's how you get there and how you grow from it that will make you okay. And of course, it's tough to even say like from a year from now, I'll be fine, even if you aren't. But at the same time, you kind of need to have that faith. And for me, saying that to myself, like by December, I'm going to be in a better place, that will bring you that energy and that faith to help propel you to that point. Oh, hold on. Lucky's coming over. Lucky's my dog.
Her short king. Her dog is true. Like, I got it. Like, he's a god. Like, he's
a god. He's a 15-year-old Shih Tzu who is
his soul. You look into his eyes and you see his soul. I miss him so much. Look at him.
Oh, but I do really love that you reframe and you make that work for you. I think that's such a great thing. And for me, it's really helped me. So I'm just really happy to hear it's helped you too.
Do you think like patience, because I know we kind of like mentioned like there's patience physically, like whether that's your skin or your body or whatever that may be, and there's patience kind of emotionally and there's patience mentally. Do you find yourself practicing patience in kind of each area of your life differently, or do they all kind of blend in together, you think?
Part of me thinks that it blends in together, but also at the same time, I think patience is such a mental game because kind of how you think about it will become actuality. I am someone that is constantly grappling with applying patience to my physical life, but it's because I have to do it mentally first. You have to think it through and you kind of have to repeat it to yourself. And that's the hardest part. It's the mental game. Patience is all mental. So I think that it permeates into everything, but at first and foremost, it's mental. And then once you kind of get that idea down, then you can apply it to your emotional health and your physical health. But again, at the end of the day, like our brains is how we think about everything. That's how we function. So it's tough to rewire yourself of how you think. But again, it takes time, and that's patience. It's so cyclical. It really is. I wish that there was an easier way to kind of be able to let ourselves just be in the moment. But as the world as it is today, we only have the attention span for sorry, Lucky sneezed.
God bless you, Lucky.
He's very vocal today. He wants to join. He wants to say hi.
He's like, what's going on?
I know. But we live in a world today where we get things instantly. So it's going to take a while to be able to be patient with ourselves if we're getting everything else so quickly. So again, it takes time, but if you work on it every day, then of course you're going to see results. You have to just say, all right, every day for the next month, I'm going to practice patience in whatever form it works for you. And then you can say like in a month or two from now, I'll be okay, or I'll be stronger in that capacity, but you have to be committed to it.
And I think, like you said, like not only like getting through it, but like growing through it. So it's like, okay, I'll get through this and it'll make me stronger, or I'll get through this, it'll make me wiser, or I'll get through this, it'll make me happier. Or maybe that's just a me thing, because again, I'm like so goal oriented. So knowing there's like, okay, there's like a reason for this.
An
like
end
again,
point.
like an end point. Everything happens for a reason. Like it's all some sort of lesson or something. Mm-hmm. Have you just always been this spiritual, or like what's your like spiritual journey been?
So, I mean, I was raised Catholic. I'm Korean on my mom's side and I'm Italian on my dad's side. So I think I have a little bit of like the spirituality from my mom and more of like the values and religious beliefs from my dad's side. I mean, I was confirmed, I went through all the religion classes, but for me, religion functioned as a kind of like a baseline for values and how to be kind to thy neighbor and, follow a way of being that's conducive to being both a good person, but also a good inhabitant of this world. But yet again, I also applied a lot of the spiritual values and maybe, rituals that my mom does and believes in. And I've kind of created a form that works for me. I'm not someone who goes to church every week. I'm not someone who, I go to a monastery and pray. But if I have the opportunity to, I'll go into a church for a few minutes and like say a prayer, or and sometimes like if I know like I've been having a rough week, I'll be like, oh, you know what, let me go to mass and just like listen to a story, because I love the stories that you hear. You don't have to necessarily believe in it, but having a feel good story is sometimes, what you need. It's just like another way to keep moving forward. But also at the same time, like when I've traveled, I love going to, temples and monasteries and feeling the energy and the vibration that is there. Same within a church. I think that there's such a special energy to it. And as someone who's very intuitive, very empathetic, and I feel energy so deeply, I think that for me at least, I'm blessed in that I feel so deeply, but I'm also cursed that I let it impact me so much that it's tough. But, I'm lucky that I've been exposed to so many different religious cultures and beliefs and forms of being a higher self, that I kind of take what I feel good with and then I'll apply it to my own life. I think that it's such a personal thing to do. And I feel really lucky that I've been able to be exposed to so many different beliefs and, ways of being. But again, I think you have to experience a lot to figure out a form of spirituality that works for you. And for me, it's kind of having a mashup of different things that I do as I feel. And yet again, I mean, some people may think like, oh, you should just stick to one thing. But also at the same time, I'm not going to do something unless I feel 100% good about it. And I think that applies in all aspects of life. Even if I work with a brand, I'm not going to say yes to something unless I believe in it and I've actually used it before. So I think it just comes down to doing what feels good and doing what makes you be good and, be a better person. And there's no right or wrong way to do that at all. And that's the beauty of spirituality. It's just doing what feels right and feeling what feels good and trying to follow that feeling and chase after it and let it be something that helps you move forward. Don't let it ever be something that holds you back. Let it be something that guides you in the best way possible, because life is too short to be in a stagnant place. That's what I think.
I love that. We have really similar like spiritual beliefs, which I didn't know, which makes me really happy to hear. I was, like also like my mom's Catholic, my dad's Jewish, and I grew up predominantly Jewish. And just growing up and stuff, like my mom especially, I think really taught me. I I personally think they're all just the same. Like, I think we
Yeah.
all give it different
Yeah.
names. I think
Of
we all
course.
practice it in different ways, but I think at the end of the day, like, it's the same, whatever you want to call it, whether it's God, the universe, energy, spirituality, religion, like whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. I think it's a form of the divine. And I've always believed like emotion and intuition is like the language of whatever divine energy
Yeah.
or essence you connect with, or whatever you want to call it. And like listening to that intuition and listening, like I think it's difficult because nowadays, especially, we have so much going on that it's so. I personally think that some of what's going on in our lives nowadays is almost unnatural. Like, I think it's just so much technology, so much going on. Like, we're not quite, like, our bodies and our minds are just not able to keep up with it at times. And I think part of the reason our like mental health and stuff is like so declining. It's just like our not being able to respond to that. But at the end of the day, like those feelings of whether it's anxiety, like sadness, happiness, like fear, they're meant to convey something. They're meant to tell you like, yes, like this is good, go in this direction, or no, this is, this isn't it, like, hold back. Like it's the divine telling you what you need to do and guiding you down a path. We just choose not to listen to it because it's emotion. It's not rational.
Exactly.
But it's hard.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. And listening to your inner voice takes so much patience too. I really have had to rewire myself in a way to recognize that gut feeling. And I unfortunately have not listened to myself enough, and it's gotten me into pretty rough situations. But I'm actually really proud of myself that I now know it took me enough failures to realize and learn that when I get that feeling, it's an absolute no. I can be respectful of how to get out to it, but it's a no. And I'm never going to put myself in a situation that doesn't make me feel good again,
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. I think it really, like you said, it is patience, and it is just learning and growing through it. But I don't know, I feel like everyone kind of has a different journey and stuff, and like especially when it turns like when it's listening to kind of inner voice. How do you listen to your inner voice? Is it like journaling? Is it just meditating, sitting with yourself? Is it like, I'm sure it's like multiple things and stuff.
I'm a big journaler. I love to journal. I love putting pen to paper. I'm such a big advocate of it. I unfortunately have been so busy, I haven't been able to do it enough this past week. But because it's a new month, I set my intention as I'm going to be journaling at least 3 times a week. If I said I do it every day, I wouldn't do it. So I need to do a smaller goal. Although stretch goals are fantastic, but I know myself enough that I can't fulfill that. But I also am someone who wants to meditate more. I want to meditate more. I do truly want to, but I'm someone whose brain is constantly moving. I have a really hard time at quieting that voice within me. And I get nervous sometimes that if I were to quiet that voice, would that make me less than? So I'm grappling with becoming a better meditator. I love guided meditations, though. That makes me feel like there is a structure to it. And I love guided meditations. I hopefully one day will be able to do it in silence and be able to find that peace. But I'm not there yet, and I'm not mad at myself for that. I love guided meditations though, because there's that structure that we both crave. There's a beginning and an end.
Totally.
So I think that whether it's journaling or meditating, you need to find something that's a good release or a way for you to just, kind of, loosen up how you feel and like talk to yourself a bit. Some people love to read, and a lot of people walk. I find that biking helps too. I love to bike.
I know I've been seeing you on the city bike grind
my
lately.
city bike. Yes, no, I've been loving city bikes. And I found that when I'm on the bike, I don't really think about much besides number one, my safety, because in New York it's intense and I ride on the street. Like I'm going the opposite direction too. Like I really should, I should really get a lesson in how to ride a bike properly in Manhattan. But
It's a scary time.
it's scary. I don't even wear a helmet and I wear flip-flops too. Like, okay, don't listen to me for safety protocols to anyone, okay?
We're still working on physical wellness. It's fine.
Exactly. We're working on it. Okay, you guys, I'm a working project over here. But biking really helps. I think sometimes moving your body physically, which has been hard too, as we've been inside, and classes and gyms and yoga studios have all been shut down. Because I was about to say yoga is like something I miss so much. I miss yoga so much. I love it. Just stretching really helps too. I love stretching. And just like
connecting with your body.
Yeah, like even getting a massage, I think really, really helps me. So I think it's various, and it's nice to have, a bunch of different ways in order to reconnect with yourself too, and experiment and find new things that work too. Yeah, I love that. Even sweating helps. Just like sitting and sweating when I'm on the subway, I just really connect with myself.
Who would have thought? Just sitting on the subway and sweating just really helps you like get that inner voice.
It's New York's number one spa. You haven't heard.
That just made me cringe.
Oh yeah.
I read this quote and it said, the voice inside your head is not yourself.
My jaw dropped.
So one thing that I've really been exploring lately is the idea of the ego. That's something that I'm really trying to like learn more about on my kind of spiritual journey, because I think that's just something that I need to learn more about, because I think I need to grow and kind of separate myself from that. But I think one thing that I really struggle with when listening to the inner voice is being able to, because I think that voice in your head, I think that's the ego personally. And I think the inner voice you're talking about is intuition. I think that's separate. But I think they, kind of like the angel on one shoulder and like the devil on the other. Like, I think that's kind of what they are. And sometimes you can't, like, I can't tell which one's the inner voice and which one's the ego speaking to me. And then I'm like, like, what am I doing? I don't know. Like, is that
same?
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Perfect. I'm trying to be patient with myself in that, and like I think learning the distinctions and stuff, and I do like all things heal through time, and I think growing and just like knowing myself, learning more about myself and about the world, like hopefully I'm able to like distinct that a bit more. But I'm wondering if you have a similar experience or journey with that.
Yeah, it's really funny that you phrased it in that way, because I never thought of it like that at all. So I'm a little like shook right now.
I'll send you the quote, because it's just,
please,
I like cried.
Please. Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I resonate in the fact that it takes me a long time to make the right decision. Some people may call it indecisiveness, but it's because I'm constantly grappling with intuition and ego. Like, what am I fulfilling in that? So for me, yeah, categorize me as indecisive. But at the same time, it's because I care so much. I want to make the right decision, but I don't know what the proper influential factor should be. And I think that takes time to figure out. And sometimes you need proper structure of values and a mission and a vision of how to get there. But again, that will take time for you to figure out. And I think it's so applicable to so different things that we experience as a human every day. But at the end of the day, I believe in that if it makes you happy, if you feel 100% about something, then that is the proper way to go. That is the proper decision to make. If you feel 90%, don't do it. Don't do it. If you feel 100, like even if you were to feel like 99%, then think about that 1% that's holding you back. Because that 1% may fuck you up later in life. And you need to keep that in mind. I think that's so important. Like it's tough sometimes to say no, but your no is more powerful than your yes. And I forget about that all the time.
Now I'm shook. Wow. Your no is more powerful than your yes.
I've had to fail a lot by saying yes, but I figured that out eventually. It's true.
Damn.
There's more weight for a no.
I'm gonna sit and think about that one for sure. That's power. That's really powerful. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
I'm a people pleaser, so I'm always saying yes. I'm always putting myself sometimes in situations I definitely should not be in because I'm a people pleaser. But
Amen. We're so similar.
I know. But when we say no, that is more powerful because we are in control. We hold our own fate. We are putting ourselves first, and we're putting our intuition first, not our ego. Our ego is the one saying yes, or our intuition is saying no.
I literally just gasped. I'm definitely journaling about this later.
Me too. I should write that down.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny that you are just like sharing this with me because it's things that I constantly think about. But it's
We should
really
talk about
tough.
this more.
We definitely are. But it's still hard to find that, rationale behind it. But at the end of the day, I always, always, always believe 100% is how you need to feel and act on. If it's anything less, why are you doing it? Don't waste your time. Your time is your most valuable currency. Of course, there's going to be moments when you have to do something at 50% and you're unsure.
Sure, that's just the world, yeah.
You got to learn through that. That's the world. But when it comes down to the big things, when it comes down to things that are important or things that will, for the soul, exactly, you need to do it at 100% and nothing less because you got to love yourself enough. You got to be there for yourself enough. At the end of the day, you've got to put yourself first. It's not selfish. It is not selfish to say no. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone, saying no is not mean. That's just, it's respectful to yourself.
Yeah. It's I one thing that I've really noticed and experienced is like the choices, air quotes, that I've made that have been the most impactful, and like they were, I look back on them, and I also have like a pretty shitty memory, so maybe it's just like my bad memory, but I don't remember making the choice. Like it was almost as if it just like happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling all of that. Yeah, no, it just happened.
And it's like those moments of like fate, whatever you want to call it, God, the divine, whatever. It's, I think, just looking back and be like, oh yeah, that cool, that happened. Mm-hmm. Doing that now sounds good. Like we'll just,
It's because of your intuition brought you there. Because it wasn't a decision you had to make. It was because you felt that way and you did it at 100%.
Yeah, it was just what it was. It's just what it was. Why am I stumbling? It's just what it is. It's just,
I'm stumbling. I'm over here. I can't even get up.
Wow.
No, it's true. I really feel that, girl. Like it's crazy the fact that we can't recall the big decisions we've made. It's only because we felt and knew that it was the right decision. Like I really credit that to where I am today with Barefaced Femme. At least it's because I did it because it felt good. I didn't have a goal in mind. I didn't have that. Totally. I was just doing it because it was fun. It made me happy. It made me feel good. And that's where it got me to where I am today, because I've just continued doing what makes me feel good. Of course, now there's a little bit more stress involved. It's a little bit more that goes to it. But the core of Barefaced Femme for me is what makes me happy and what makes me feel good. And I have to say, Instagram is just a bonus in life. You have to love yourself first. You have to be there for yourself first. But we're human. We're wired to connect. We're wired to communicate. And Instagram is a tool for us to vocalize our innermost thoughts and feelings. And, sometimes ego is involved. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of accounts online. But if you put yourself in a place that you can protect yourself and you can, continue to be a light for other people, then you should do that, not just on Instagram, but be that person every day. Wake up being that person, go to sleep being that person, and live that person.
Oh. I'm just speechless over here. I mean, we were even talking before we started recording, and I Christine, I'm gonna shout you out. Don't
Yeah.
blush. But Christina's like past 20K followers on Instagram, and I was like just so like proud first, but like also shocked because I literally remember right before. So, oh my gosh, memory
Say
lane.
it.
My last college class was with you.
Oh my God. Was it Moses?
With Moses.
Love Moses. He's our beloved cinema teacher. We thought it was a business of Hollywood class, and I begged Catherine to take it with me because I didn't want to take the other class that involved more work. And she was like, fine, let's take it. And
like,
we ended up being film majors for a few months.
Now I'm a Hollywood. I feel like I'm from LA, and now I truly feel like I'm from LA because I know like about Hollywood now.
I'm a
like,
cinephile now. Exactly. Like, ask me anything. Mise en scène. Ask me about the lighting, please. I got it.
Oh my god. Shoot. I totally lost my train of thought though.
We're just having too much fun over here.
I literally remember like during our last class, we're like, oh yeah, pandemic, whatever. We were
and you're like, let's go to Disney.
I regret to
we
say,
had no
but
clue.
I was totally one of those people that was like not taking it serious in the beginning and thinking.
Well, we didn't know. We were so confused. We were so confused.
It was our second semester senior year. We didn't want to believe it. Like it was just a whole stuff.
No, but, we didn't know what to do.
We were sad. But I remember like you were like around 5K and somewhere around there. And I was like, oh my gosh, amazing. Like I was like, because I interned and stuff in social media marketing. So I was like, oh, like, are you like needing help growing and stuff? And you're just like, oh, I don't know. Like, sure, whatever. Like, you're like, that's not like the purpose of it. But like, if I can, whatever. That was March, literally within 4 or 5 months, you've quadrupled your following. And I asked you, you're like, yeah, I literally don't even know how that happened. And I think
I can't even tell you.
One of those things. It's just, you didn't make the choice. Like it came to you. And like, I think don't get me wrong. I think you're a really hard worker. You're one of the most hardworking people I know, and I really admire that about you. But I do think like it's more than just hard work. I think a part of it is, I don't know if luck is the right word. I don't know. Lucky. Oh, Lucky's definitely part of it.
Oh no, he is everything. Yeah, I mean, now I'm like bothering him and waking him up, but I think a lot of it is just like putting yourself around positive, good people. That's a lot of it, I think.
Grateful for you for that, Ben.
It's funny that you say that because you are someone I think of immediately when I need that burst of positivity. Like, you're just one of the people I feel the safest around. It's crazy.
That's so kind.
Like,
that means the world to me. Thank you.
And it's so true. And you are so special in the fact that you radiate kindness to even strangers that you've just met. Because you guys, Catherine and I have gone out together, even at the D. You are so the D is like our college bar. And like Catherine would meet a stranger and just be like the kindest person ever. And it's so inspiring because she leads that way every day. Like, even at the coffee shop, she's so sweet. Like, you would die. So I swear.
You're the exact same. True. Are you kidding?
No,
I feel like I totally bounce off your energy with stuff like that. Like, you're just like the warmest, and you're always just have a smile on your face, and I just really love and appreciate you. And I
love and appreciate you so much.
Really appreciate this. I'm actually, so this upcoming weekend, I'm literally doing a mindful retreat where I'm just gonna turn off my phone for 2 or 3 days. I'm journaling and meditating and yogaing and painting and like just gonna like, yeah. So like this was perfect. Like, thank you for like that. Like, again, this is the divine whatever. Like, it gave me what I needed. Like, thank you so much.
Oh my God, I'm so honored.
I love and appreciate you. But that was such a good chat. Wow, I really needed that.
That was that's it. I'm so sad. That was so I'm so comfortable. I'm like, I have my blanket over here.
You look so cozy.
Dog.
Well, we do have one more thing.
Oh. What is
our manifestation moment?
Oh, okay. I love it. Let's get it rolling.
So, Christina, whether it's with something we talked about today or just like whatever is going on in your life at the moment, is there something that you want to manifest?
Yes. I'm a huge advocate of manifesting. I'm one of those people who will like set my background something and like manifest it in little ways, or
I
I'll
love that.
say it out loud, I'll affirm it. But something that I would like to manifest for myself this week and in the coming weeks is to bring more love and peace into my life. Love for myself, number one, first and foremost, but also having love for others and welcoming new love into my life. Because even though we are living in a pandemic, I think that it's really important to still embrace others and to not be afraid to open up yourself socially in a safe way. I also want to manifest and bring forth the peace that I need. Although I can't identify the exact peace I need, but I know that I'm in a state right now where I'd love to have more stability and peace in my life. So that's what I'd like to manifest. I want to manifest those two things because I find that that's what I'm lacking. And I'd love to build myself up and be stronger with that. But I know it's going to take time. But I hope that this week I can jumpstart that and start working on that more and making the time for it. What about you?
I love that. That's amazing. And I am here manifesting with you and supporting that because I know you're also moving soon. So I really feel like this new space is really going to be a really safe one and a really I think it's just going to be so great, like helpful in you kind of reaching that.
Thank
you for
you.
asking about me. I think for me, I would like to manifest. I'm really excited about this like mindful retreat thing I'm doing, and I think I just want to manifest it, healing and growth and awareness. And I just overall would love it for it to be a positive and fulfilling experience because I am kind of anxious about it, not gonna lie. But I'm really also excited for it, and it's something I've been looking forward to doing. I've been wanting to do this since abroad, which I went abroad over a year ago now. So I'm really excited to finally make it happen. And I'm really, really grateful to kind of have my own space right now to make it happen. And a forced pandemic to push me to do it. But yeah, that's what I'd like to manifest for this week's episode. By the time this launches, I'll be like finishing up my retreat. So maybe I'll do like a little bonus episode on how that went or something. I think that would be fun.
Yes, give the people what they want. Give us what we want.
People
please.
Want that.
Please, we want to know.
You're so
first
kind.
off, I want to say I'm so proud of you for being able to do that. And that takes a lot of strength and,
Thank
self-control.
you.
So I'm sending you my love. I'm going to miss you for these next 2 to 3 days, though. But please call me once you're out.
After. Okay.
Please do. But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished and doing right now.
Thank you.
Bringing forth such a positive source of media for the world. This is so wonderful. I'm so excited for these soul chats.
Well, Christina, thank you so much for the lovely chat. Again, love and adore you. Thanks for gassing me up and for being on the podcast. I appreciate your time.
It's such an honor, such a pleasure. This uplifted me. I loved this. Can we do it again?
Yeah. Call you tomorrow.
Beautiful.
All right. Tell Lucky I love him. Give him kisses and cuddles from me.
Giving him a few cuddles right now.
Oh, thank you.
From Auntie Catherine, Lucky. Auntie Catherine
misses you.
We love
talk
you.
to you soon.
We
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Love you.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day. Bye.
I decide to enjoy.
Soul Chats is created and produced by me, Catherine Kalu. Branding and design is completed by Tracy Keller. Theme music is Buen Camino by Miss Bright Sea. Be sure to check out and support these fellow creatives by visiting my website, soulchatsbycatherine.com. While you're there, be sure to also check out episode notes, which include some questions brought up during today's episode to keep in mind for the week, as well as our guest links if you'd like to follow them and get to know them a bit more. You can also find links to the show's social media platforms where you can keep up with what Soul Chats is doing next and connect with our community. And of course, please do not forget to subscribe to Soul Chats wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, thanks so much, friends. I'll see you next week.